午安，欢迎来参加今天下午我们那个锡昌科技举办的Biofeedback 和 Neurofeedback 的研讨会我们很高兴邀请到MyMedia 是荷兰的一家总代理，他们是做Biofeedback Neurofeedback 这个 solution 已经超过20年在欧洲、在美国、在国际上在服务这个 Biofeedback 这方面。那他今天也带来一些新的科技新的一些跟大家分享。那就是我们邀请到 team。另外我们也特别很高兴邀请到长庚桃园长庚医院陈建伦陈医师陈医师在 Neurofeedback 上也有很多年的经验。那特别请他，因为他就是使用多年间，请他来请陈医师特别来跟大家做分享。那我们今天大概进行的程序就是先由 team 中间有 Q&A 再请陈医师做分享。谢谢。
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon. I think Paul just introduced me. I'm Keren. I'm from MyMedia. And MyMedia deals with neuro and biofeedback. I'm from the Netherlands, and I think that is what Paul said too, Holland. Actually, it is the Netherlands. But Holland is okay because of soccer. I'm going to talk about the applications of bio and neurofeedback, the clinical use, but also the use in peak performance. Maybe as an introduction, may I know how many psychologists do we have, just by raising hands? Psychologists? 4? Doctors? Students? And physiotherapists maybe? Other professions?
Nurse.
Which is? Nurse? Nurse and?
Doctor.
Also doctor? Okay.
Bioengineer.
Bioengineer. Quite a mix. If there's anything unclear, just let me know during the presentation. We try to offer systems to researchers, clinicians, and health professionals, so psychologists, doctors, engineers, those are all our customers. And we have some innovative systems for measuring, training, and optimizing human nerve physiology, health, and performance. And I'll also be showing this. So not only be talking about this, I'll also be showing this today, hooking somebody up. Let's first talk about biofeedback. Who knows what biofeedback is? Everybody new to biofeedback? Yeah? Actually, biofeedback has started in the USA. They started with, this is actually instrumental conditioning of the autonomic nervous system. It was already in 1967, 1969. Research on psychophysiology has been long before, and Shapiro already researched in 1965. And in the US, they started the Association of Biofeedback and Neurofeedback in 1969, which was first called the Biofeedback Research Society. And later on, it was called the Association of Applied Psychophysiology and Biofeedback, the AAPB.org. Still exists today. Besides this, there is also a Neurofeedback Association, which is called www.isnr.org. So quite a long history in biofeedback and neurofeedback. It started in the US. It's really big in the USA. It's quite well known in Europe as well, especially the German-speaking countries. What is biofeedback? Actually, it's a technique to gain insights in your physiological activity. for the purpose of improving health and performance. This is what Gilbert Moss stated 2003. By the way, I think that we will be sending you the digital version of this presentation as well. Yeah? Okay. And if we're talking about physiological activity, there's lots of things that you can measure. And in biofeedback, mostly these are these measures. We have muscle tension, electromyogram, EMG. We have heart rate, EKG, pulse, respiration rate, sweating, also called skin conductance, temperature, so not the core temperature, but then the temperature on the hands or on the feet, and brain waves. And brain waves is measuring brain waves and giving feedback on this is actually neurofeedback. There are more. Force, HEG. HEG is measuring the cortical blood flow. Oxygen you can also measure, but these are the most common ones. And biofeedback is an active therapy. It's training. It's not like, let me give you an example. It's not like when you have a headache, tension headache. I don't take a pill. I do training on it because pill is just treating symptoms and looking at the muscle tension and the origin of the pain. That's where biofeedback comes into play. What's very important is that you need to have a motivated client. He needs to train on himself. Then you need, of course, a tool to be able to measure all these parameters that happen in your body, physiological activity, and of course, we need to have good therapists. Education is important. So biofeedback instruments are actually used to visualize all these physiological processes, increase awareness of them, because, I don't know, do you know what your temperature is? Do you know what the temperature is in your hands? No? Do you know it? In the hands? 37? In the hands? 35? Oh, could be, but I don't think so right now.
34.
High. 32 is good.
34.
Hands. I mean, core temperature is 37.
Yeah.
But hands.
Lower.
Yeah, it can have a big range. It can be as cold as 20 degrees, and even lower. That's really cold. I don't have 37. But do you know exactly what your temperature right now is? No. And that's what these instruments can show you. They can show you what's actually happening inside your body. With close relationship, of course, to the mind-body interface. So roughly, how does this go? We have all kind of parameters here, EEG, muscle tension, etc. We put on different kinds of electrodes and sensors, etc. They are attached to a system. They send data. This data they send it to a computer, and then it visualizes this data in different ways. Either it's a signal itself, or it's an animation, or a video, or a game, or whatever, just to help you to change the physiological processes. So feedback, either visual or audio feedback to the person. And this is like this loop right here, operant conditioning. Creating new habits by positive reinforcement. This I will show later on. These are all the different parameters. And the way this works is that you have a therapist, often sitting like this, who has a screen with all kinds of controls, and you have a client who is either just working on this bar graph going up and down, and by you as a therapist, you guided them in doing this, and it's not only the machine, you give them techniques to lower make temperature higher or to lower muscle tension, and he gets feedback. And as soon as you get positive feedback, you have this positive reinforcement. Biofeedback can be used for many different applications. Generally, it is used for showing the interaction, psychophysiological interaction, and increasing knowledge of the biopsychosocial model, because of different elements to being healthy. And stress management, relaxation. And this I will also show in this demo measurement. And this is like a list. It's not complete, but it's quite. These are very common applications of biofeedback. Tension headache, what I just talked about, migraine, pain, hypertension, so high blood pressure, ADHD. ADHD is one which is where neurofeedback comes into play. Anxiety, insomnia, also for neurofeedback, but also for biofeedback. Post-traumatic stress disorder. This is one I'm going to talk about later on. So the sport performance. It's not only when you have a condition, but it's also for improving your performance. Constipation, substance abuse, again neurofeedback, rehab, incontinence, and there's a whole list. And actually, this list, there's like a document on it describing how well researched these applications are within biofeedback, neurofeedback. So goals, like I said before, improvement of perception of physiological processes, so interoception. Can I feel what is happening inside? Improvement of controlling these processes and improvement of belief of control. And looking at factors that could influence this. So why does this happen to my temperature, or why does this happen to my skin, or why does this happen? Why do I get too tense muscles, and do I get headache? Generally, there are 3 steps in biofeedback. This I mentioned many times. It's gaining awareness of what is happening in my body. Then the second one is with you as a therapist, getting to control these processes, and that also means a changing in behavior. For example, taking some time off during the day, not working from 9 to 5 and not having a break, those kind of things, or going to the toilet and not taking your phone with you. That's what many people do. They don't relax anymore. They can constantly be reached, even on the toilet. So with a therapist, you get all kinds of techniques, and maybe they seem easy, but they're very, very important. And you use these techniques in daily life. And this is also a very important part of biofeedback and neurofeedback. And here the phone comes in handy, because you have all kinds of applications like breathing pacers and all kinds of other things that you can use on the phone. What I mentioned here is how does it go? How biofeedback, neurofeedback? What should I think of? So generally, if let's say you have chronic tension headache, you don't need more than 10 sessions, and it's gone. No more pills for, no more aspirins, nothing. Neurofeedback is different. We We think that you should also always combine biofeedback and neurofeedback. And with neurofeedback, and Dr. Chen will talk about this more extensively, generally like 30, 40 sessions. So let's talk about stress, because that's an important factor in biofeedback. And let's get back to this biopsychosocial model. We have different factors. We have the body, where stress can come from. We have the mind, which can be stressed. We have social life, which can be stressful as well. And like the WHO said, health is a state of complete well-being of all these three factors. Environment, being in traffic, there's lots of traffic in type A. Or like I said, the phone or being reached all the time. I can text and then phone and email, etc. And then these two factors, stress and thoughts, they can lead to. I mean, if I think about a stressful event, it can lead to the same physiological activities inside my body, like when I'm running. So, lead to physiological effects that can be similar to physical exercise. And it's actually important, a healthy mind, healthy body. These interactions are very important. Shortly about the background. Stress has everything to do with the autonomic nervous system, which is, as you know, is built up in different out of different parts. And this part, the peripheral nervous system, and this sympathetic and parasympathetic, that's the important part. Sympathetic system? I always compare sympathetic system, parasympathetic, to the gas and the brake. Could somebody tell me what the gas pedal is?
Sympathetic.
Yeah. Yes, parasympathetic. Could somebody, if I look at this, gas, you have all kinds of things that's going on. Let's say, what happens to, what if I step on the gas? What happens to my breathing? Or my heart rate? Increase? Yeah, increase heart rate. And more things happen. So you have all kinds of organs, etc., that are, of course, connected to this parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, so this involuntary system. And they react in different ways based on sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Stomach, heart rate, breathing, saliva, livers, all kinds of processes. And this is good, because when a tiger jumps into my pool, I need to run. I need to get activated and run away as fast as I need to activate all these systems to get away. This is not good in case it gets chronic. Because that can turn to certain disbalances in these systems, that they do not react in sync. You condition yourself by getting a lot of stress. And they can lead to different conditions or have an effect on different conditions, like I said, like anxiety, hypertension, like a lot of the ones in the list I mentioned at the beginning. So I mentioned some of them. Who can tell me what some stress-related parameters? I've mentioned already quite a few of them. Heart rate, yeah.
Breathe.
Breathing. 2. I need 3 more. Sorry? Blood pressure, yes. That's a good one. The problem with blood pressure for us is that we cannot measure it continuously. You need to scoff. You cannot do it continuously. There are some systems that can do this, but they cost 30,000 euros. But that's a good one, yeah, because I mean, blood pressure is related to heart rate, related to what more? What else? I need 3 more.
Skin conductivity.
Yes, sweating. More. I mentioned what did I ask you in the beginning? Temperature? Yeah. One more. The example with the aspirin. Muscle tension. Exactly. So those are parameters that are stress related and that we can measure. And of course you have blood pressure and you have other ones too. You have different hormones that change, but that's something we cannot put a needle inside and look at this all the time. Muscle tension, skin conduct, etc. What happens to them? What happens to muscle tension and stress?
Increase.
Yeah. Normally it increases. So if I have this trapezius muscle, that's one we often measure. It increases. How about sweating? Increase? Increase, yeah. That's right. So it goes up because, I mean, sweating means more water, so more conductance. Less resistance. Heart rate. Yes, and one more. It increases. That's right. What is better? Is it better to have a heart rate which goes up and down with a lot of variability, or is it better to have a heart rate that goes with minimal variability? Variability, because that means I can adapt to changing circumstances. So what happens in stress? Decreases. Yeah. So this variability decreases. Temperature? Yes. Why? What is the physiology behind it?
Blood shunting into the CNE. Blood shunting to the central.
Yeah, so this vasoconstriction. Yeah, so the vasoconstriction in the peripheral, so everything goes to the central. Respiration rate? Different things happen again. So increase, yeah, so I start breathing faster. 2 more. 2 more things happen to respiration. What is yeah, that's very good. Very good. Yeah. And what does that mean? No, what is good breathing? Is that through the stomach or through the chest? Is that good breathing or bad breathing? That's bad. So, if I breathe relaxed and I breathe through my stomach. I don't use these upper muscles. I breathe through my stomach. So what happens more shallow actually means it goes more. I do this kind of breathing. What happens? Yeah, the other thing that happens is that I sometimes, if I then you hold your breath, so it's more irregular. It stops sometimes, and then so you get scared and it stops. So up again, up, down, up, so general. And of course heart rate variability goes down. Here, more shallow and more holding the breath. And again, what I said, this is good, so I get activated. This is a good thing. That's like a core principle. You have baseline. You get activated because I scare you or whatever. But after this activation, after I just whistled, I hope you're now relaxed again. Because otherwise that's not good. I mean, you need to activate and regenerate. And this is where the problem often lies. But also here you can have a problem. Because there are different responses to stress which are abnormal, quite logical. This is a stressor, activity, get done, like I just showed. Abnormal is not responding at all, or no recovery. Which are people that could not respond at all? Some. Sorry?
People may be dying.
Dying, okay. But that we cannot treat. Think of in the USA, this is a big problem. People going to war. They go to war, and exactly they come back, and they have seen so much that they have said, okay, I'll just put my emotional, my mental thing, and my physical. I will put that separated, no overlap anymore. So that means that when getting stressors, it's like shielding themselves from all these stressors. That's where you can get this response. And this one, this is just too much stress, building up stress. This can show in this. That's nice about the system. You can look at, for example, skin conductance and see, okay, I stress somebody, it goes up, it stays up after recovery for 2 minutes, and then I stress somebody again, and it goes up again. So that's what they say. It's building up stress. And that's where where it's often used is stress profiling. I would actually like to show that. So you do a setup, you have a baseline. For example, if you let somebody read or something, you give different stressors and you do a relaxation. And that, for a clinician, that's like a sort of a diagnostic tool to see what is happening inside somebody's body. Because I told you that skin conductance goes up and temperature goes down, etc. But unfortunately, not everybody reacts in the same way. I'll do a demo measurement at the end. Let me switch because stress also is important in performance enhancement in sports. That's one element of using it in not only in sports but also in higher management. People that are constantly under stress, etc. So performance enhancement is not a part of biofeedback. I say biofeedback mostly with the stress, and neurofeedback is looking at focus. Because once we have very good sports, once we are a very good sports player, and we have like 3 people that are great and physical ability, then the difference is made not on the physical side, but it's made on the mental side. Especially on the high pressure. So, quite obviously, also athletes have to be able to relax and control their mental state. Again, this overlap between psychology and physiology. So if something happens in my daily life, I have to have techniques to make sure that it does not really affect my physical ability or my performance. And so you can use it in different states. You can do it while resting. Do training all day. So you condition yourself, proper conditioning. You can do it while doing the performance itself. That's not always easy. But think of somebody with shooting. That's also sport. Shooting. They need to be able to really focus and not have stress influence them. Yeah, and participating in high stress and competitive environment. Again, same as the basic biofeedback, you would get insight in your psychophysiology in order to improve your self-regulation. You don't want stress to affect your energy levels and improve focus. And it can help facilitating recovery from injury, so that's even another step. The use, it's used complementary to what they're already doing. You can do certain visualization of certain events. What is nice is also that you can do simulators. Show a video of somebody shooting a penalty kick, or somebody who's bobsledding, going downhill, and then see how they react and how they can influence that reaction so they can better perform. Insights in physiology before, during, and after performance. Here, this is a nice example. This is from Slovenia. It's a sports psychologist who works with shooters, but also with people that do fencing and do tennis, etc. And you can see it doesn't show here, but here here this is a system, and it's connected. She's measuring different things. It's connected to the hand and to the belly. And the system is just in this pouch right here. So while shooting, the psychologist can look at what's happening and afterwards analyze it with the athlete and use it for future performance. Yeah, then like I said, different parameters that you can use in different ways. Brain function, the neurofeedback is one. Improve intention, emotional control, relaxation, no overbreathing, movement with the muscle tension, skin conductance, etc. There's different ways to approach it. And of course, the strongest way to approach it is just using everything at once.